Today's video has been on my list for at least 6 months. It came as a question from you guys, so thanks for asking great questions. And today's video is 5 ways you can make money on your farm besides farming. Okay, I want to first preface this with it's going to be hard to do most of these if your farm isn't some kind of model of what you're claiming it is. So I claim that my farm is a very small and profitable farm, and that's why I teach workshops and a lot of my content is based around that. So it doesn't mean that that's what your farm has to be. Your farm could be a perfect model of a closed loop and sustainable farm. So if you are that, then by all means, I think it's a legitimate thing for you to be teaching about that. So basically, your farm's got to be a model of some kind that people are really going to want to come and do some of these types of events on your farm. So let's start at the beginning. Number 1 is education, and I guess that seems somewhat self-evident from somebody like me that has been teaching about farming for a long time. I run all kinds of different workshops on my farm. I have 5-day workshops. I've been doing that for a couple years now, and informally for many years. And so there's all kinds of different educational experiences that you can provide on your farm, and if you're providing value to people and they're learning something, you should charge for that. You should be making money at that. Knowledge is worth something, and education is very expensive. Today there's such a scarcity of good information about sustainable and small scale and profitable agriculture. You can't really get it at the universities. You have to go to the people in the field that are doing these things on the front lines to really get a valuable education experience. Because a lot of people ask me all the time, they say, hey, where should I go to learn about farming? And I'm kind of like, you're already doing it. If you're watching my YouTube videos, you're already doing it. That's what I did. I watched John Kohler, and I got into the permaculture guys, and I read Elliot Coleman's books. You know, there wasn't a lot of educational content out there, but now there is. So you don't need to go to universities to do it. You're really better off surfing the web, finding what you like, and then picking a farm and asking them, you know, if you can provide value, what can you do? And often that might just be paying some money to come and take a workshop at somebody's farm. Number 2 are farm tours. You can do tours, you know, you can do 1 or 2 hour tours, bring a bunch of people in, charge them $20, $30, $50, whatever you think the market will bear, and give them a tour of your farm. Show them the infrastructure, show them some greenhouses. A lot of the time is going to be just answering questions. So you don't really need to have too much prepared content for this kinds of thing. Maybe just decide you want to show them 5 things, like you really want to give them 5 big takeaways. And as you go through and look at all those things, people are going to ask questions and they're going to engage, and that's going to take up the bulk of the time. Third one are events. You could have weddings on your farm. You can have musical events. You can do dinner events. Some of you guys might have seen the video I did maybe a year or 2 ago with Chef Julio. We did a farm to table dinner event on one of our farm plots. It was super fun. You know, you can use these things to create revenue streams on your farm, and the sky's the limit, really. You know, obviously the location and the size of the farm are going to be important considerations with the types of events you're doing. But you know, we did a dinner event for 20 or so people on our tiny farm. We certainly couldn't host a music festival, but there's all kinds of possibilities there. Brooklyn Grange in New York City, awesome rooftop farm. They do weddings all the time, and I think it's become a pretty key part of their revenue streams. Number 4, paid mentorships. So these are different than an internship. People actually pay to come and spend time and learn on your farm. That's probably as far as the value you could give to somebody. It's probably the most focused and intensive information that somebody could get, because it's more one-on-one. So Brian Callow from What the Fungus, I've done multiple videos with Brian. He does these paid mentorships, and he does very well with them, and there's a lot of demand. People pay upwards of $1,000 to come and spend a solid 7 days with him learning every single aspect of his operation. So obviously, if you're going to charge that kind of money, you need to deliver on the value. And from what I've heard, and I've met a lot of the people that have taken his mentorship, is they're very excited about it. So that's another thing there, number 4. Number 5 is consulting. So this would be similar to the mentorship, but maybe a bit shorter term. I've done a lot of consults on my farm where people come for 3 or 4 hours, they pay an hourly rate, and they come to see the specific things that they want to see, and they're also basically just asking my opinion on certain things. Some of you might be familiar with Scott Hebert. I've done a couple videos with him. He's also doing YouTube videos now on his farm. That's how I met Scott. Scott came and paid me or hired me to consult for an afternoon. So he came here, he wanted to see specific things. I showed him exactly everything he wanted to see, and then he went back and did it himself, and now he's crushing it. So there's these things are so valuable, you know, when there's such a lack of good information out there, especially in the legacy education systems like the universities and such, that there's so many niche opportunities for farms that are doing well to educate people and give them everything they need. None of the theory and all that is just straight soup to nuts, exactly what you need to do to get started and how to succeed. So those are my 5. I hope you guys have found that helpful. I want to just remind you again, my microgreens course is done Tuesday, May 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have a free webinar, which is basically a 1-hour workshop where I'm just going to explain how you can make money growing microgreens, selling to restaurants and farmers markets. So people are signing up quick. Follow the link below. I'll have it in the show notes right below this video. Check it out, sign up, and we'll see you there. Talk to you guys later.